Hey guys, it's your boy Hung and welcome to another episode of Movement of Expression. So we are going to go back in time to the year 2013 where HAIREXPO had just announced the finalists for Australian Hairdresser of the Year. For those who don't know who Caterina is, she's 4 times Australian Hairdresser of the Year, has made the finals for numerous competitions. Her credentials go so far from working on Miss Universe to being the L'Oreal ambassador to, being a hair director for Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week and also Sydney Fashion Week. So guys, I've worked with Caterina in 2016 where she had mentored me, and I have to say she is one of the most humblest person I've ever personally met. She owns a salon called Heading Out Hair and Beauty in New South Wales, if you guys ever get a chance. So without further ado, let's go and check out her hairdressing collection. Guys, if you have been enjoying this sort of videos where I've been doing a bit of deep dives into other people's photographic work, make sure you like this video and hit the subscribe button. Now, if you guys wanted to see something a bit different, feel free to leave it in the comments below and I promise you I'll have a look at it. Thank you so much for supporting this channel. Okay, so we're going to be looking at a website called tantalummag.com where the Masterpiece collection was featured. There was an awe-inspiring mood of opulence in the room as Heading Out Hair and Beauty creative director Caterina Di Biase created her new photographic collection, Timeless. Masterpiece. A blend of Renaissance art, Baroque embellishment and modern punk hair throughout the images worked to create its own gallery of modern-day masterpieces. The fashion world has been enjoying a maximalist period where Baroque styling has become the fixture in our wardrobe. I felt that this would be a strong, dramatic platform to create a shoot from, says Caterina Di Biase. Sumptuous brocade fabrics set the scene for this exuberant shoot, starting with a soft pale blue tie-dyed bob. This technique was achieved by tying bands along the side of the hair and painting the color between them. Another soft style also featured in the collection is the very modern pixie cuts. The top of the hairline was over-directed back in this cut to keep the length in the front section. A sharp angular punk balayage bob with emphasis on its own shape. Vintage green color and texture can be seen in this collection. Yet another contrasting image depicts a beautiful, raw, chewy textured modern bob with heavy fringe and short textured crown. This appetizing texture was created to complement its pastel pink tones. Another image also depicts this chewy, chiseled texture in a deep violet palette. Hair director Caterina Di Biase said, "I incorporated the new neon trend into this shoot by working with electric lime hair that had a strong glam rock element fused with an elegant styling aesthetic." So the people that worked on the shoot Masterpiece, obviously the hair director was Caterina Di Biase from Heading Out Hair and Beauty. The photographer, no surprises here, was Andrew O'Toole. Makeup artist is his wife, Kylie O'Toole, and the stylist with the clothing is Andrew Zombo. Alright guys, so let's have a look at Caterina's Masterpiece collection. So let's have a look here. Alright, so as you guys can see with the very first collection here, or the very first photographic image, the first thing that really stands out for me is one, the color of the hair. It almost feels like there's a bit of a murky sort of blue going through the roots and balayaged out, which looks absolutely beautiful. When I see this image here, it really gives me a lot of Marilyn Monroe sort of vibes to it. Obviously with the blown out hair, looks absolutely gorgeous. And also just looking at the clothing wise, like the clothing, it has a lot of gold sort of embellishments through it. Amazing. And like the photo itself looks so simple, doesn't it? Where she's just lying on a sofa, I believe it's a sofa, and just kind of just not looking towards camera, but more of a candid sort of shot. It's really, really lovely. You know, again, like who doesn't love a photo with the mouth slightly ajar? But yeah, no, the styling itself isn't too hard. I believe it was created with setting rollers and obviously just maybe teased and sprayed in place, brushed out just very, very slightly. But overall, the hair itself is gorgeous. When you look at this sort of image, you tend to think that when you have a background that has like sort of, I think it's like more like sort of floral in the background, then you have the chair that's filled with almost like velvety designs through it. Then you have the clothing, which also is quite busy. Sometimes the hair can get lost within the image, but for whatever reason, this image really works quite well. And I love it. And just like with the hands on her chest as well. Yeah, it's amazing because like the normal person would look at this photo and think to themselves, it's way too busy. But for whatever reason, Caterina and Andrea Toole made it work, made it really work. And also Andrea and Kylie as well. The makeup itself is very subtle, but that's a good thing, I believe, because then it draws out the hair even more. So let's look at the next photo. Okay. So again, I mean, this time the image itself is the background is very subtle. It almost looks like there's like sort of almost like feathery designs as a backdrop. But looking at her hair, it's been very, very laid, been very textured. It almost looks very like Caterina had made this sort of fuzzy hairstyle on purpose, which looks absolutely amazing. And the overall image it's not too difficult, but how everything comes together looks stunning. You know, I love the accessories that she's wearing, that big gigantic ring that also blends in with her garment. And just like how, I feel like they've blurred out her right arm a bit, but made the face more so the focal point of the overall look. And it's so beautiful to think that like she's not even looking at the camera, she's just closed her eyes and just in this sort of this transit state. But yeah, obviously, yeah, the hair has been heavily textured, I can tell you that. But just the shape of it, the silhouette of the hair. I know I talk about the silhouette a lot, but I do think it matters in sort of photographic collections. Yeah. Gorgeous. I'm sorry if these images aren't high quality. It's what I could find at this point in time. But hey, it still does the job pretty well. And I just love that sort of slight veil over the right shoulder as well. Clothing. Looks gorgeous. Alright, yeah, and I think having the hair like bleach blonde as well looks really good in conjunction with a dark backdrop. So let's move on to the next one. How gorgeous does that look? I mean, there's nothing like, so you have this sort of like ombre from almost like a black to a teal to a green, and the hair has been crimped and brushed out. But how she is laying down and how it was brushed out and sprayed into place to create that sort of angular silhouette there, like just through here. But I think that's absolutely stunning. Oh. And in terms of the face shape for the pose in this specific image, it reminds me very similar to the previous one where her chin is the prominent point of the face, similar to this photo here. Love how the arms is just very simply just hugging the chair. But something to note is I love the contrast between the maroon velvet couch to the hair. I think it works really well. I don't know what it is, but it adds another different element or dimension to the overall image. I mean, I can't really say too much about the dress, but it works really well. And just with that silk fabric on the right hand side here, looks absolutely stunning. Oh, oh. Sorry guys, I moved that a bit too quickly. was just trying to zoom in here. Yeah, and yeah, like the makeup is just it's very doll-like, isn't it? It's very subtle, but the overall image looks stunning. All right. Sorry, I went into it before, guys. This one's quite interesting. She almost looks like, it's almost, it's hard for me to explain, but she looks very sad in the image. Her hair itself is just an absolute, yeah, it's almost like this gel sort of wet look, but very textured. It looks almost like an asymmetrical bob, but I'm sure it's just heavily laid. And I love the silhouette of it as well, because yeah, the angles through there looks incredible. And even the clothing itself reminds me of like sort of more wedding gowns almost. It looks gorgeous with also the gold embellishments through there. But I love how she's just leaning against, for me, the backdrop almost reminds me of fish, like fish scales, where it shimmers a bit of light through it. And obviously, like, I don't know what this is here. This looks like a little, what the hell is this little boy doing here? Yeah. No, that's absolutely gorgeous. Everything about it looks amazing, doesn't it? What do you guys think so far? I mean, like I said, this hairstyle I don't think is hard to do, but it's how you execute it and how you can capture that image in that single photo that makes a whole lot of difference. Yeah, no, that's gorgeous. I love Caterina Di Biase's work. It's amazing. And the reason why, I have to add, the reason why I love Caterina Di Biase is she also reminds me of my hairdressing teacher when I was in trade school as well. A fun fact. All right, let's go to the next one. Oh, wow. I just love this overall image. Like, so far, for me personally, this looks like a magazine cover shot. I love how she's on the sort of Victorian chairs with all the sort of details through there. The backdrop, I don't even know what the backdrop is, like flowers or, yeah, I'm not too sure. But I love it. And oh, Andrew, the clothing that you did on this, the styling wise, it really suits the hair. She almost looks like a mermaid. She looks like Ariel that's stuck on a chair. You know, I love all the sort of tassels just hanging out. I love how it's all disheveled. I love her hair. Her hair is so simple. It's just, for me, it's just a bob with a fringe. But one, the color makes the overall look amazing. I love how it's just slightly a bit wet looking. Like she's just come out of the pool, which also adds to the whole sort of mermaid sort of feel for me personally. And look how timid she is. Like, even her body posture looks like she doesn't really want to talk to anyone, you know? Very shy looking. But I absolutely love this photo. It is a flipping winner for me. Wow. What do you guys think of this image, hey? I'm too scared to zoom in now, just in case I go to the next image. But yeah, and obviously like Kylie O'Toole, her makeup, the slight blush on her cheekbones just really brings out the hair as well. That's really cool. All right, let's go to the next one. I like. So this is these are one of the images that I call the money shot. So what I mean by the money shot, so it's an image where like you're so reliant on either blow drying the hair or creating a bit of wind or a bit of movement, that the hair has to sit at a particular spot for the photographer to capture that moment. Because yeah, I mean, her hair looks absolutely perfect. You know, obviously it's been tied back into a mid ponytail, and then I feel like they had green hair extensions that was wrapped around like rollers, and obviously with the existing hair they wrapped it around the green hair to create this sort of look. And obviously it gives me a few sort of geisha sort of vibes, but also very modern. And I love the contrast between the green, because it really shines in this sort of dark image. Again, I believe that Andrew, is it Andrew? I think it's Andrew. The stylist really nailed the clothing as well, because all the images so far, from what I could see, has been consistent and very, they fit in so well together, don't they? Looking at, you know, the red against the green, beautiful contrast. Let's have a look. Yeah, so like I said, like the image itself, like they would have had like some sort of wind or a fan or a blow dry underneath just blowing it up, or if not that, someone would have been holding the hair and flicking it up and getting Andrew to capture that very, very moment. A very difficult hair to replicate. But it's so worth it. It's definitely the money shot, hey. One thing that I learned when I was doing a lot of photographic work for competitions is that try not to create wind if you have to replicate it, because once you walk onto the runway, to get the hair looking exactly like that with the wind blowing is almost impossible for me personally. So if you guys ever had to replicate the look and get the model to walk on the runway, whether it's like, you know, the Weller Trend Vision or the Goldwell Color Zoom, whatever it is, just keep that in mind. No, I absolutely love it. Is there any more photos? No, so that's pretty much it. So why don't we have a look at all the photos together? Alright. Yes. I absolutely love this this collection. Like the hair itself, I feel, is quite simple, but because there's so much going on in the background, so much going on with the clothing, so much going on with you know, the backdrop, the colors, the contrast, it's a flipping amazing collection. For me personally, I'll stick by what I said before. I still feel like the pink pixie mermaid hair is probably the winner here. My second favorite would probably be the very first image, just because there's so much dramaticness to it and it looks so natural. I absolutely love it. Yeah, but as a collection as a whole, I think it's wonderful. What do you guys think about it, hey? Guys, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Movement of Expression and doing a deep dive into Caterina Di Biase. I hope you guys enjoyed her collection masterpiece. Now, if you guys stayed to the very end, please like this video. If you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, as it would really help me out. Now, guys, thank you so much again, and I'll see you on the very next episode. Cheers.